Yes for Christ. Yes for Christ. Yes for Christ. We're on a mission. We've got the vision to do God's word. The Great Commission is why we're driven. It's why we serve. We are the ones to carry the gospel to the whole world, yeah. To every region, tribe, town, and nation, they need to hear God's word.
Good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to our first ever podcast session. We are Christian youths, and our aim is to cover various topics in life while giving a realistic perspective and applying God's wisdom. Before we get into our topic of discussion, we are going to introduce ourselves to you so you guys will be familiar with our voices. First off, my name is Stacy.
My name is Brianna.
My name is Kimisha.
My name is Karen.
My name is Dan.
All right, so our today's topic will be self-respect. To begin, we have some questions that we will be applying God's word and also elaborate on. So our first question is, what is self-respect? What is self-respect? Maybe a definition could be given.
Self-respect is confidence in one's own self or abilities.
All right. Well, when I think of self-respect, I think of someone holding themselves in high esteem and building that you are good and worthy in being treated well. To have self-esteem, well, self-respect, it goes hand in hand. You actually set a standard on how you would want to be treated. So once that is... once you set a certain standard for yourself, that will go hand in hand, and everybody in line will know how to treat you in return. So I guess, that to me is how I define self-respect.
Also, I think self-respect is also knowing oneself, and being comfortable in your shoes, and don't be afraid of expressing what you feel, what you like, and stuff. So it's not really about others accepting you, but you accepting yourself. And everything else, I think, will fall in line, and people respect you after that, after you respect yourself. So I think you start with yourself first of all. So
yes,
Yeah,
that's correct.
Yes, definitely. It all deals with understanding and recognizing who God made you to be. So, there's a saying that basically, to know God is to know life. And there's also a saying that when you actually know God, it answers three fundamental questions. Who am I? Where did I come from? And where am I going? Once you're actually able to put these three questions into the right perspective, it really allows you to, as it were, know who you are and know what your purpose is.
Yeah.
So just to agree with what everybody is saying, self-respect to me, it means feeling good about who you are as an individual, valuing yourself highly and accepting yourself, and also not to compare yourself to others negatively. Oh, I'm not like this person, I'm not like that person, but being confident in who you are.
Yeah, because when you look on Hollywood and what they show you on television, they're trying to fit everybody into a specific mold. So they're basically saying, if you don't look like this, if you don't have this amount of material possessions, then you're no good. They're trying to downplay you if you don't fit into the image that they paint for you.
Just to add to what my co-host said, a lot of the TV shows are telling young ladies it's okay to wear short clothes, that less is more. And a lot of them think it's okay for them to be showing their body like, they're a piece of meat, when actually you need to value yourself. If you want to be treated like a queen, you have to first treat yourself like a queen, because if you don't, then nobody else is going to. The same goes for young men. You have to treat yourself like a king in order for somebody else to come along and treat you like a king, because if you don't, they're going to give you what you give off. You only attract what you give off. If you give off bad, you're going to get bad. If you give off good, you're going to get good.
Yeah.
And that basically sums it up. So our next question will be, why is self-respect important? Why do you guys think self-respect is important?
Well, the thing is, if you don't respect yourself, who is going to respect you? That's the. I mean,
No, that's literally what it is. That's literally what it is.
Yeah, basically, if you have to have self-respect for yourself in order to give somebody else. Yeah, so
I believe in this saying that says, you teach people how to treat you.
Yeah.
So how you treat yourself is how they're gonna treat you.
Mm-hmm. I have something here that says it is important because ultimately it affects all your decisions and behavior. Not only that, but if you don't respect yourself, how will others, as we already elaborated on, how will others respect you as a person? You do this by creating boundaries and honoring yourself. You'll also allow others, when you do this, when you create boundaries and you honor yourself, you will allow others to do the same, cultivating healthy relationships as well as a sense of self. So I would say that's why that's one of the reasons why self-respect is important. Anybody else?
Also to add, I mean, when you have high self-esteem, it reflects positively in all aspects of your life, at work, at church, at home, in your relationships. The people with high self-esteem, they smile a lot. They don't go around frowning and that sort of thing. And it's always better to smile than to frown. It's better for you even health-wise. People who smile and they're happy, they tend to live longer than when you live miserable. And when you have that positive energy about you, it's contagious. And I think people always want to be around you. Mm-hmm. And because you're so positive, you have so much high self-esteem, I mean, you can help to brighten somebody else's day even than to, bring them down.
You know what Brenna said there is just so true and it's just so powerful. Even in my own personal life, I can testify that there have been days where my esteem was lower than others for whatever reason. Maybe I failed in some aspect of my life and it affects me mentally, and basically it affects every single thing that I do. I don't feel that good about myself, and it even affects my literal walk. The way that I walk, if you look at me, I walk differently during those periods than when I'm actually feeling confident in myself. And it affects my work, it affects everything, because all of that is just affecting, playing on your mind. And as a believer, I have to then turn to scriptures in the Bible that would encourage me and help to build me back up. Stuff like Philippians 4:13 that would say, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and as you begin to fill your mind with these positive things, fill your mind with these truths, it slowly begins to change your whole mindset and your whole focus.
Well, just to add to what Karen said, another scripture, Psalms 28 verse 7. The Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusted in him, and I am therefore helped. My heart greatly rejoiceth with him. My song will I praise him. We should praise God in our downfall. We may not always feel our best, but when you're at your lowest point, those are the times God gives you his strength. Because he said when we are weak, that's when he is strong. And sometimes the enemy feels the best way for him to get us is when we're not feeling confident, as Karen said. We feel down, we feel like nobody cares, but God always tells us he will never leave us nor forsake us. He cares way too much for us.
Yeah, and I think that it's not every day gonna feel like up to it, right? So it's not every day is gonna feel up to it. So I guess because you can't have no sunshine without a little rain. So I think that always kind of brings you back to the place you ought to be, because every morning you don't wake up feeling, wherever is happening in your life or whatever you're going through. But I think when those are the time when you really I think start to meditate and realize really who God is, and then I think it kind of brings you to a place of peace and understanding, and I think it actually makes you stronger, if anything, because if everything is going good and fine all the time, it's sort of, you're gonna backtrack and really lose sight of what really is the focus and the main motive. So I think those hurdles, God sometimes pat you on the back to get your attention sometimes, and then if you don't get a pat, give you a little hard enough. And if you don't get a, you hit you on the ground, And then you say, oh yes, yes, and then you catch back yourself because
Yeah.
trust me, I go through that all the time. So
True.
that's something I can actually do.
Yeah. Alright, so point number 3. What is self-respect and self-esteem in a relationship?
Okay. I think in a relationship, it doesn't matter what type of relationship it is, whether it's between two lovers or a mother and a parent, relationship with your co-workers. If you have high self-esteem, it means that you'll be able to relate to the other party well. You won't feel that lack of confidence in social situations. And it's good to behave confidently because then others won't take advantage of you or criticize you or bring you down because they see that you're this type of person that it doesn't matter what it is or whatever you're going through, you're always still smiling, you always still feel good about yourself. And if you have that in a relationship, it will be a very healthy relationship.
For me, self-respect and self-esteem in a relationship means you have to tell your partner what are your likes, what are your dislikes. You need to first respect one another. You cannot have disrespect and expect them to love you like that if you're disrespecting him or you're disrespecting her, because that does not look good, especially if you want to walk down the road towards marriage. You have to respect your partners. You know, if I'm doing something that they don't like, instead of them coming and cursing, they would say to me, okay, Kamisha, I don't like what you're doing and it's very disrespectful to me. Now I have to in turn honor that and say, okay, you know what, I will stop. Because if you don't, it's going to create a rift and it's going to create problems in the relationship. So we have to set boundaries for one another and work on it.
Yeah, there's a verse for that. I mean, as what Kamisha said, it's Matthew 7:12. In everything, therefore, treat people the same way you want them to treat you.
Yeah.
But this is the law and the prophets.
Yeah.
It basically goes hand in hand of how you want to be treated in terms of being in a relationship with someone else. If you don't like what your partner is doing, you let them know. And if it is that they don't follow through, or try to listen to what you have to say in how you want to be treated, well, I guess the only option is to have yourself self-respect.
Yeah,
So.
and you basically touching on something that's actually very powerful, because I want everybody listening to us to understand that true self-esteem and self-respect, it really should lead you to a place where you can respect others.
Yeah.
See, when I was growing up, a lot of people, but I think sometimes in Christian circles, sometimes like some individuals wouldn't talk too much about self-esteem because they don't want you to get proud. So they don't really push the thought too much of having self-esteem and self-respect, because they still want you to remain humble. But when you're truly able to esteem or respect yourself, it should truly lead you to a place where you can actually respect others. So it's not a case where you're going to be puffed up, but you know that God made you as a certain individual. He created you in His image, and as that verse that I've said that you read, you're able to treat the other person with respect as well.
And I think sometimes what happened in the church circle, where some people might have certain things as a joke, and to the other person it is a disrespect, or you're making them feel funny. Because some persons have said that persons will make joke and they don't like it, but what may be joke to you is really harmful to somebody else. So we need to be considerate of other people's feelings as well. Because as my co-host Karen have said, a lot of people don't talk about self-respect or self-esteem because they think you're going to get too high or high-headed. But it's not like that. Because if you as an adult want me to respect you, you have to respect me. Not because I'm a child or a younger person, but I have to respect you. And a lot of things, sometimes a lot of people have this old-time mentality that as an adult, I don't have to respect a child.
Yeah.
But if you tell a child to shut up, you may not think the child take it anyway, but in the back of their mind it keeps playing over. I had an incident like that with my younger relative, and I said to him, shut up, and he looked at me funny. He's never given me before, and I realized that I hurt his feelings, and instantly I apologized because I know what it felt like for somebody to tell me that. And I said to him, I'm really, really sorry. It will never happen again. What I should have said was to be quiet and listen. and automatically he responded the normal way that he would respond. He sat there and he listened. So we need to always be cognizant of other people's feelings and how they take things different, because not everybody may be able to take things the way how you or another person take something.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the downfall in society today. I think, as Kimisha said, when somebody thinks they're older than you or they have a higher status than you, like they can tell you anything, you don't feel no way. Or you're supposed to tell them this, or you're supposed to listen to them because they're this and that. So I think that's why most of the time you find the younger. That's what's wrong with the younger generation, because the older generation doesn't. Some of them don't have respect for the younger generation, so it causes rebellion. You understand what I'm saying? So I think even if it's the babe, even if it's a 1-year-old, I don't think you're supposed to as in treat them how you don't want to be treated. You understand what I'm saying? You don't say make noise on them. If you first you have to understand somebody first before you try and bash them. So I think that understanding somebody is a form of self-respect to them. To find out how they are before you move along.
Respecting your feelings.
So you don't know what somebody's been through, what's going on in their life. So you have to respect that, try to understand them, learn them, and then I think that's the ultimate form of self-respect. That from the beginning, and then I think it's a growth. It's something that grows over time. So I think that's where it starts from.
Yeah, so that's excellent. All right, so the next point is, how do someone gain self-respect? How does someone gain self-respect?
Okay. Well, in addition to what we know, you get comfortable with who you are. You don't try to be anyone else. A point I have here is that you learn to be able to think and make decisions for yourself as well. Don't always allow others to have to think for you, because in doing this, you're raising the confidence in yourself that, hey, I can do this. And in essence, it raises your self-esteem.
As to what Brianna said, especially when you have set up, for instance, a lot of young people are now working on their license. And for me, I not too long got my own, and it felt really good to get that accomplishment done, especially when you set goals for yourself and you get them done. It's like, yes, one down, many more to go. So you're telling yourself, I can do this. I can stand on my own 2 feet. I don't need anybody to think for me. And especially the parents as well need to give their children more guidelines. Trust them, because some parents do not trust their children. They hover over them. Not saying that you're not supposed to, but as they grow, allow them to do certain things. See if they're going to use their own discretion. You know what? My mom would not be pleased if I did this, or my dad would not be pleased. So if your friends are going somewhere you're not supposed to be going, you sit there and say, my mom trusted me to go movies with my friends. After the movies, they're going in line. I know I'm supposed to be going home. When the movie's finished, if it's the bus you're going to catch to go home, you take the bus and go home. If your mother, your father's going to pick you up, you be there when they come. You don't go with your friends, because sometimes when you don't do that, when you don't trust them, they know, here, you know what? If this doing it, I'm going to do it. If this friend doing it, Cindy doing it, Harry doing it, I'm going to do it as well. So we need to trust them.
Yeah, I think another thing that you can try is, taking up a challenge that you might not have otherwise taken up before. Again, I can speak from personal experience. There are many things that in my own self I would have never thought of doing, but then a challenge was brought to me, and instead of shying away, I decided, let me take up this challenge. I mean, something as simple as, being a worship leader, that was something I would have never, in my younger days, something I would have never thought of doing. It wasn't something that I really wanted to do, but I said, you know what? Pray about it. Let me talk to God and see if I can take on this challenge. And something as simple as that could help to boost my self-esteem so much. And then there are many other examples I could speak about, but I think definitely trying new things, taking on new challenges, it helps to build your self-esteem.
I'll be 100% honest, right? Gaining self-esteem in this world now is so hard, right? So hard. So I cannot stress about finding yourself and being yourself anymore. I think that's the basis of gaining your self-esteem and building up your self-respect and self-esteem. So I think long as you find yourself, you're gonna find what you're comfortable in, what you like. You understand what I'm saying? And I think praying to God also helps that as well. You're gonna find like where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to be doing, and your purpose. Because I think if you're following everybody else, you're not gonna find what's for you.
No.
You understand? So I think in this day and age, it's very hard. I think with social media and everything, everybody wants to be the same, do the same thing. But I think after a while, I just realized, because everybody gets caught up in it, and then after a while, they realize it's not really, it's fake. It's just like it's not reality. It's like a fantasy. And after a while, it's like it kind of makes you more mentally tired. You know what I'm saying? Because you're trying to keep up with everything.
Yeah.
You're not doing anything you like. So after a while, it gets draining. So I think if you want to say you have to go through the motions to find, I don't know, but I think I cannot stress enough about finding yourself and being yourself. Because I think when you do that, I think everything else will come following after, honestly.
Definitely. Being yourself, not being somebody else, that is key. And the story of David actually comes to mind because when he was going out to do what he wanted to do, Saul wanted to put him in his armor. He wanted to box David into his armor. But David said, that's not me. I accustomed to using my little sling and that's what I'm going to do. So that just brings up the point that you're saying you can't try to be anybody else. You have to know who you are and allow God to use you.
Yeah, because everybody was destined for their own.
Yeah.
If you were supposed to be like somebody else, I'm supposed to be like
Stacy.
yes.
Really?
I would be Stacy. Me and Stacy would be one, but we're different. You know what I'm saying? So when you just find your own zone and
Yeah. And I think in doing that, you recognize your strengths and you focus on your strengths more than your weaknesses. I know sometimes you listen to some people and all they have to say is negative comments about themselves. Oh, why I have to be like this? Why my hair so short? Why am I so fat? I mean, focus on the positive things in your life and also to move past your mistakes. There are people in this world who all they can ever do is just bring up your past, who you used to be, all the bad things you have done, right? And it just plays on your mind. But you have to learn how to move past those mistakes, quit blaming yourself for the same things over and over and over again. Forgive yourself. And I mean, to stress a little bit more about forgiving yourself, because if you can't forgive yourself for something you have done, you won't be able to forgive somebody else who has done something towards you. So you have to learn how to forgive yourself.
Yes, sir.
And if you've made mistakes, you learn from it and you press forward.
Yeah, what you just said about mistakes in your past is very, very true. Because I think
to move forward, actually.
I think sometimes your past come back, but I think it's a form of growth because you learn from your no human has ever evolved without mistakes. Like if you go to life on those mistake, I think you're not living life. So I think we use these kind of mistakes happen so you learn from, grow from them, and you move forward as an individual. So you know, I think you know what to do in the near future, what not to do, and things like that. Understand? So.
Just to add to what my co-host said, they are so right, and it's 100% true because your mistake shapes and mold you. Because just as when God had told Jeremiah to go down to the potter's house and look at what the potter's doing, and he's saying, you know what, even if the clay doesn't come out as to what the potter wanted to be, he can change it and form it into something else. And that is what God does with us, especially with our mistakes. We learn from them. You know, you would say, hey, you know what, back then I made this mistake and I'm not going to try and make the same mistakes twice. And the Bible has in a lot of examples of people who would have made mistakes who would have felt
Yeah.
down, who didn't feel loved, who thought that nobody cared about them. But all in all, God has always been there for each and every single person. We have to always look to God for everything that we need. We can't look to other people, because God said in His word that we are fearfully and wonderfully made.
Yeah.
He made each and every single one of us individuals. So I can't say, I want to be like Stacy. Sometimes it happens. Oh, why Stacy look like this? I wish I was like Stacy. But God didn't make you like Stacy. If He wanted another Stacy, Stacy would have been a twin, but she's not. And even twins like to be different.
Everybody wants their own identity. But ultimately, I would say, how you gain self-respect, you have to demand respect for yourself first. Some persons would find, I guess, self-respect in, let's just say, a value or a career path or achievements. I don't know if y'all can agree with that.
Yeah.
Those are different things that people find self-esteem in and self-respect for themselves to gain the confidence.
Yeah.
So ultimately, you have to find a niche for yourself. For us personally, as young Christians, our purpose is our purpose mainly is from God, and what He has for our lives and what He has to unfold within us. So that's our true identity, as I would say. All right, so we're coming to a close now, and we thank you for listening, and I hope that you guys would be here for our next podcast session.
With more next week or whenever.
All right, and from this, we sign out with, this is your session.
Session.
Signing out.
Signing out.